Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and talk about how Bangladeshi exporters can tap into Latin America's massive, booming market. For years, we know the focus has heavily been on North America and Europe, right? But today, we're looking south. Specifically, we're looking at Brazil. We're going to unpack this source material, which acts as a really fantastic playbook for turning sheer geographical distance into a serious strategic advantage. Just wrap your head around this number for a second. We're talking about over 215 million consumers. Brazil isn't just a big country, it is the largest economy in all of Latin America. It's a massive B2B market, absolutely packed with importers, distributors, and manufacturers. Honestly, it represents a critical, largely untapped opportunity for diversifying your export destinations. So here is our game plan for this explainer. 1, the Brazilian market opportunity. 2, the top 10 high-demand products. 3, getting export ready. 4, finding and pitching buyers. And 5, logistics and retention. Let's start with Section 1, the Brazilian market opportunity, diversifying beyond traditional borders. The foundation for this trade is actually already there. Current Bangladeshi exports to Brazil are hitting close to $190 million every single year. But here is the crazy part. Ready-made garments currently dominate about 90% of this trade. Meanwhile, Brazilian importers are aggressively looking for new partners offering competitive pricing, reliable manufacturing, and sustainable products across multiple other sectors. The door is literally wide open for massive non-apparel growth. Moving right along to Section 2, the top 10 high-demand products, categorizing the export potential. The absolute core of this explainer is knowing exactly what they want to buy. So let's kick off our top 10 list. Bangladesh's ready-made garment sector obviously enjoys huge recognition globally, and that translates perfectly to Brazil. But looking past the denim and the t-shirts, highly profitable niches are opening up in value-added leather goods like shoes and handbags. Plus, Brazil has this massive sustainability movement right now, and the research shows that biodegradable jute packaging acts as a very clever, low-competition loophole for exporters. Next up on our top 10 list, we have the home and hospitality sectors. As Brazil's residential and hotel markets continue to expand, they are hungry for home textiles, premium ceramic tableware, and durable light engineering products like stainless steel kitchenware. Offering customized designs and really consistent quality in these exact categories can help you establish incredibly lucrative private label relationships with major Brazilian retailers. Finally, rounding out our top 10 products, we have specialty markets. We're talking pharmaceuticals, frozen seafood, agro-processed ethnic foods, and bicycles for Brazil's booming urban mobility trend. Now, I'll be honest, these do require stricter compliance. You'll need Anvisa registration for pharma and rigorous cold chain management for seafood. But if you do the groundwork to secure those approvals, it completely opens the door to massive, high-value contracts. Okay, Section 3, getting export ready. Bureaucracy, compliance, and branding. Knowing what to sell is awesome, but you absolutely cannot skip the paperwork. You need these 3 bureaucratic pillars in place before you even think about quoting a price. That means getting a valid trade license with tax registration, an export registration certificate, and an authorized dealer bank account that is experienced in handling international letters of credit. Getting your legal house in order is step 1. Once you're legally good to go, you've got to look the part digitally. A Brazilian buyer is going to thoroughly investigate your digital footprint before they ever reply to your email. A free personal email address? Yeah, that just won't cut it. Your online presence needs to project absolute reliability and scale. You need domain-based emails, a high-quality product catalog, a totally transparent factory profile, and you need to prominently display all your international certifications. Here is a technical detail that catches a lot of first-timers off guard. You can't just assume standard US or EU paperwork will automatically work in South America. Brazil uses the NCM classification system. You absolutely must verify the exact NCM code with your buyer to avoid customs disasters, because this little code dictates the taxes, duties, and licensing requirements for your specific product. Moving to Section 4, finding and pitching buyers, strategic outreach and negotiation. So, how do you actually find the right people in a sea of 215 million? Instead of sending generic spam emails to info@addresses, you have to target verified importers. The strategy here is focusing on commercial hubs like Sao Paulo, use LinkedIn to find import or purchasing managers, leverage shipment-level customs data to see who is already importing your product, and definitely don't underestimate professional matchmaking through the Brazil-Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce or networking at events like the Made in Bangladesh Expo. Now, it's super tempting to just offer the absolute lowest factory price, right? Actually, scratch that. The research clearly shows Brazilian buyers will happily choose a slightly higher price if it guarantees competitive landed value, verified quality assurance, and frictionless communication. They want a supplier who solves problems, not one who creates them just to save a few pennies. And that brings us to the golden rule of sampling. Overperforming on the sample and underperforming on the commercial shipment is literally one of the fastest ways to lose a buyer permanently. When that sample finally arrives in Brazil, it has to represent the exact, repeatable quality you can maintain during bulk production. Do it wrong, and trust is instantly destroyed. All right, our final section, Section 5, Logistics and Retention, Executing the Trade and Scaling. Accurate documentation is literally the lifeblood of this whole operation. Your commercial invoice, packing list, bill of lading, certificate of origin, and any health certificates must be totally flawless. Here's a massive pro tip. Always send draft versions of these documents to the Brazilian importer for review before the vessel leaves Chattogram port. Fixing an error early in Bangladesh is cheap. Fixing it later at Brazilian customs is an expensive, delayed nightmare. You also have to be real about shipping times. Sea freight to South America is not a quick trip. You're looking at a 35 to 50-day transit through transshipment hubs before arriving at ports like Santos. A truly successful exporter underpromises and over-delivers on these timelines rather than making impossible promises just to win an order. This brings us to one of the most vital concepts in our explainer today. International trade specialist MD Joynal Abdin puts it perfectly. Securing a first order requires effort, but repeat orders create sustainable export businesses. This is all about the long game of relationship retention. So how do you keep them coming back? It's all about post-sale relationship management. You need to be just as responsive after you get paid as you were during the pitch. Maintain absolute quality consistency, proactively over-communicate any shipping delays, and periodically share new designs. Better yet, invite those top Brazilian buyers to visit your factory in Bangladesh. It's an incredible way to solidify trust. Once you've got 3 to 5 solid Brazilian clients under your belt, it is time to scale. Ask for referrals from those satisfied buyers. Analyze their business models to build a highly targeted list of lookalike companies in Brazil to prospect next. Success breeds success. And here's the really exciting part, the bigger picture. Establishing a foothold in Brazil isn't just about one country. By mastering the strict compliance, the tricky NCM codes, and the complex logistics of Brazil, you are effectively unlocking the door to the entirety of Latin America. It's a strategic stepping stone to massive markets like Argentina, Chile, and Peru. So, let me leave you with this final thought. Is your business ready to cross the Atlantic and conquer the Brazilian market? The roadmap is right here, from dialing in your digital presence to targeting those top 10 high-demand niches. The only question left is, who is going to be the first to take that strategic step and truly unlock Latin America?